I should begin.
Yes, please.
Hi, Shavua Tov. Good Vach. So lovely to see all of you. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I would like to begin by thanking my gracious hosts, Rabbi Leslie and Faye Unger, for hosting me. And I would like to thank Ben Silverstein and Rabbi Pesach Chait for hosting you. So I'll be able to connect with you. Before I begin, I'll tell you that when this is completed, I will be very happy to answer any questions that you may have. And as always, you are welcome to phone me or email me or text me for any kind of private discussion that you might like. Okay, here we go. Life is like a bowl of cherries, pits included. Several years ago, I wrote a speech about loss, which I then titled Life is Like a Bowl of Cherries, but Watch Out for the Pits. I think at that time, which was a few years after Shmuley passed away, my entire psyche was in the mode of watching out, kind of fearful and almost waiting for the next shoe to fall. I had read the book Option B by Cheryl Sanders, and I was infused with ideas of overcoming grief and accepting my life and helping others. When I wrote that speech, it was certainly helpful to me, and I was very happy to hear that when I presented it in the community, it was helpful to others. But I remember thinking that it was very unfortunate that I could not wear earrings that had cherries on them because my teaching persona always included some kind of visual connection to whatever I was teaching. A few months ago, I found earrings with cherries on them, and I knew that when I would be speaking this summer at Tea for Torah in Seattle and maybe again in New York, I would definitely revisit my first speech and see where we've gotten to since then. Um, that was about 7 years ago. And when I looked at that speech, I thought of how many ideas I've changed and how many ways that I have grown since that time. Unfortunately, I have also experienced other losses and challenges since that time. I realize, however, that rather than diminishing me, these challenges strengthened me. So I thought about the original title, Life is Like a Bowl of Cherries, Watch Out for the Pits, and I realized how much we grow from the pits. And so tonight I am speaking about Life is Like a Bowl of Cherries, Pits included. I think if we begin with the premise that since everything that happens comes to us in our life is part of the plan of Kadosh Baruch Hu, there really can't be any mistakes. There might be things that we prefer to things we don't prefer, but that does not mean that any of the things that he has given us are insurmountable for us to navigate. In fact, they actually are learning and growing experiences. An amazing friend, Alav Hashalom, Leah Gamel, in Seattle, Washington, was dying from pancreatic cancer, and he was trying to find a way to strengthen his teenage children to cope with the loss that was inevitable. And he reminded them of when they used to go camping and hiking together, they used a book which had several phrases that said, You can't go over it, you can't go under it, you need to go through it. And this is true about everything in life. The pits that we encounter are the speed bumps of life. They help us to grow and become more resilient, stronger, and more capable people. Do we want these things to happen? Definitely not. We think we would be happier to have or happily ever after without any interferences. But clearly, that's not the way life goes, and it's not the way Hashem plans our life to go. When we begin by realizing that the chaylik that we are given is the one that we are supposed to have, we stop fighting the reality and embrace the situation. I think the three most important words for us to know are probably the three most difficult words that we ever say because we say them at the most challenging time in our life. And they are Baruch Dayan Ha'emet. Blessed is Hashem, who is a true judge of all things. If we can internalize at the most difficult time in our life that this loss is a result of a judgment from Hashem, which is infinite and absolute and true. It is not a punishment, it is not a curse, it is a reality. And being able to grasp that reality gives us the ability to move forward. Moving forward is the most important ingredient in our recovery because you can't have a new reality with an old mentality. So, how do we move forward? I'm going to address the ways in which we can move forward and how we can help others who have suffered loss to also move forward. Just as you need a GPS to help you not get lost, you need a GPS to navigate loss because when you experience loss, you truly feel lost. The G in my GPS is for gratitude. There is always something to be grateful for. Each time we recognize Chasdei Hashem, it strengthens us and gives us the resilience to move forward. When we begin each day with Moda Ani, we plant our seeds of gratitude for that day. When we go through our day and recognize and appreciate the blessings we have been given, it is like we are watering the seeds of gratitude and watching them flower. I believe in experiencing the message of Modeh Ani throughout the day. Just as I begin my day with expressing gratitude to Kadosh Baruch Hu, that's how I end my day. Before I go to sleep, I write in my gratitude journal. Keeping a gratitude journal enables me to remember the things for which I am grateful that day. I'm reminded of the Chasdei Hashem, which envelops my life and gives me the strength and courage to look forward. Dear friend, whose name is Esther Friend, living then in Seattle, shared this article with me. Nighttime is often when our worries and anxieties come to the surface. When the dark falls and our eyes start to close, it can be easy to succumb to the weight of our thoughts. But what if we turn this around and instead use this time to reflect on all the good things in our lives? Gratitude positively affects your sleep by getting rid of negative thoughts and emotions. Filling your mind with positive thoughts can help your brain produce dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical, because mental health plays such a big part in the quality of sleep that you get. Practicing gratitude before bed improves your psychological and physical well-being. In a study conducted with 400 individuals who suffered from sleep disorders, 40% of them reported that they fell asleep faster and longer when they practiced gratitude before going to bed. The P in my GPS is for peacefulness. Though we may all face different circumstances, we can only do the best that we can do. And unfortunately, sometimes there is nothing we can do. It is easier to say shalom, hello, than it is to say shalom, goodbye. But shalom doesn't mean hello or goodbye. It means peace. When we realize that we have fulfilled the need of our loved ones to the very best of our ability, we are providing them and ourselves with the greatest sense of shalom, peace. And then we are able to let go, and so are they. Loss and grief are difficult enough without the additional burden of guilt, regrets, and should haves. The S in my GPS represents sadness, which is a healthy, normal, yet painful part of life. Everyone experiences loss, but Not all losses are created equal. There are timely and expected losses, and there are untimely and tragic losses. No matter what you have lost, and I have actually lost everyone I can lose, but I have not lost myself. It may be helpful to recognize that we feel more joy that our loved one lived than sadness that they died. Many people have asked me, does it get easier to deal with grief? I'm sorry to say, it doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. And that strength enables you to handle your grief and anything else that comes along more easily. My role model for moving forward is the kangaroo. Well, I had the pleasure to visit Australia several years ago, and I was surprised to find a picture of a kangaroo and an emu on all government buildings. I learned that that was because the mantra of Australia is to move forward. The kangaroo and emu are not capable of walking backward. Our Torah model for moving forward, we learned from Lot and his wife. They were commanded to go forward and not look backward. He followed this command, and his wife chose to look backward. And we all know how that worked out. Survivor Viktor Frankl said, there are three categories of people who suffer from trauma. There are those who suffer from post traumatic stress syndrome. Then there are those who are more resilient and they can bounce back to the state that they were in before the trauma occurred. And then there was a third group that amazingly bounced forward. We call this post traumatic growth, the capacity of a person to grow from your trauma. It is therefore not surprising that Charles Darwin said, it is not the strongest of the species that survives or the most intelligent, but the one who is most responsive to change. You cannot bounce forward if you look backward. Helen Keller said that when one door opens, one door of happiness closes, another opens. But unfortunately, sometimes we look at the closed door so long that we fail to notice that the other door of opportunity was opened. Now that we know why we should move forward, let's talk about how we can move forward. And this is where I turn on the ways. Moving forward means creating a new normal. I believe in moving forward by looking forward. I am a believer in the benefit of journaling. And one of my many journals is called Moving Forward by Looking Forward. I write down events that I anticipate, some small, some large. You can plan your week by looking forward to little things. Go for a walk with a friend, inviting a guest, taking pleasure, calling calling a sick friend, planning a project or trip. Taking pleasure from anticipation is built into us as a key to our mental well-being. When we imagine our future selves doing something we love, our brains release the happiness transmitter dopamine, which enables us to endure some days that are more difficult. There is scientific proof that we take more pleasure from anticipation than reward because the dopamine level drops when we get what we want. But human beings don't like waiting. Positive anticipation is really good for us. Aside from the dopamine, the emotions that it creates helps with stress and boosts our problem-solving abilities. There are also neurons in the brain that light up when we imagine future good things. This is known as the hope circuit, and it reduces feelings of helplessness. The greatest thing that you could do for yourself is to help someone else. When you help another person, you step outside your issues and help others overcome their challenges. When you treat yourself to a gift, dopamine again is released and brings you to a happy place. But when you buy a gift for another person, you release a mega dose of dopamine. Finding a way to help others is truly the gift that keeps on giving. The word in Hebrew, yiv, natan, is a palindrome. It is a message that teaches us when we give, we receive. Hashem, in his infinite wisdom, created an amazing system where not only when you do a chesed do you benefit by doing a mitzvah, but it's built into your body that the dopamine level brings you increased joy. Maybe Hashem made our heads round so that we could change direction. In order to move forward, that is something that we need to do. It is important for us to remember that Hashem is with us when we are whole, but he is equally with us when we are broken. I bought a magnet from Stuff by Sarah that said, Baruch Hashem. It fell and broke, and I thought that I would throw it away and get another one. And then I realized the value of having the broken one and the whole one together as a reminder of this idea. You also may remember that the broken luchot were put in the Aron HaKodesh together with the unbroken luchot. I tried to cover some information that I hope will be helpful in our efforts to move forward. I think it is important for us to realize that although people who have losses, with the help of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, are often able to move forward, that does not mean that we don't have a responsibility to help them. Many people who have had losses shared with me that although they appreciate the support that they received during the time of the funeral and the Shiva, often they feel forgotten after that time. Just recently, on the occasion of my beloved Shmuli's 13th yahrzeit, a dear and well-meaning friend said, after all these years, do you sometimes just not think of him so much? This gave me an opportunity to explain to her and to clarify for myself the difference between immediate loss and what follows the loss. When one loses someone close to them, the pain of the immediate loss is like having surgery when a part of you is being cut out and the pain is excruciating. But when you recover from that pain, what does remain is a dull, throbbing pain that remains forever. I think of people who have lost limbs and have phantom pain where that limb was located. It's very important to realize that we never recover from the loss. People are sometimes sensitive to contact those who have had losses on the yahrzeit or birthday or anniversary, and that is very helpful. What people don't realize is that since loss is always with us, any random day can trigger a feeling of despair. For that reason, it is so important to think of people who have had losses and reach out to them far beyond the initial contact. I was told that the magnitude of the loss is equal to the magnitude of the relationship. I would not give up a minute of the life that I shared with my husband and Shmuley, Zichronam Lebracha, to diminish a minute of the loss that I now feel without them. Sheryl Sandberg wrote in her book, Option B, grief crashes into us like a wave and rolls back like the tide. Not only are we left standing, but in some ways stronger. Some people say, if there's life, there is hope. Maybe it should be said, if there is hope, there is life. Believing in new possibilities provides us the will and way to move forward. This is what we call grounded hope. If you take action, you can make things better and create a new normal because your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. My personal mantra has become, it is what it is, but it will become what you make it. I hope that your journey through life will be as sweet as a bowl of cherries, and that some of these ideas will help you navigate the pits. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience, and I am more than happy to answer any questions now or anytime you choose to contact me.
Okay, let me unmute. Okay, let's see here. I think it's here. And now I can unmute. Okay. Let's see. Can somebody try to unmute themselves and see how it works? If it's working? I think I did it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, Mrs. Moskowitz. I really, I just want to say I appreciated that. Oh no, it's not working.
I can't hear you. Hold on one
So I'm
second.
just
I'm going to try and make it a little louder.
okay. Okay, can you say it again?
Hi, Mrs. Moskowitz, do you hear me?
Hi, Erin and Michaeli.
Okay.
So nice to meet you.
We appreciated that tremendously. It was like it's unbelievable. And like coming from you, it means something different than coming from other people. I know what you've experienced and your wisdom, and like the combination of those two, I think really has a different influence when you hear an idea than when you hear it from somebody else.
Can you hear okay?
Do you?
Okay.
I don't know. Do you hear me now? Did you hear me before or no?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
better.
Okay, fine. You want to say it, or I have a question if
Next question.
yeah, it's there were a lot of ideas you were saying about your attitude, the perspective, how gratitude helps you, and coming to seeing what grief and the benefits that you can grow from it. I was wondering, you mentioned gratitude in particular. I was wondering if there was it's fun. You're saying gratitude helps you get all these things. How do you get gratitude itself? Do you think that there's any key other than just reflecting on your life and the
Exactly.
good?
I believe in what I call an attitude of gratitude. And what you need to do is every day, and I think it's better at night because that's when you have the ghosts come in, but just to stop and to think, and when we wake up in the morning as well, just to stop and to think of all the blessings that you have. And there are so many. I mean, it's the blessings that we don't even think about because they seem to be the normal part of a life. But if you just stop and each thing, I mean, sometimes in the morning, I go out for I do being in the sunlight in the morning, and I'm just like looking birds on the tree, just looking at them and like, whoa, look what Hashem is giving us to look at. But on a personal level, you think of everything in your life. In your case, of course, your beautiful family and your amazing wife, and all the blessings that you have, and your learning, and how your mind helps you to get closer to the ideas of Hashem and to help other people to reach those ideas. But in every day, there are so many things that happen to us that for which we can be grateful, and recognizing them. I think our brain processes positive things and it also processes negative things. And when you um, express the positive things, then it's like you're making a message to your brain to recognize all these things, and it automatically will affect you. So
Okay,
verbalize them, say them, write them, and be aware of them.
okay, so I understand. So you're saying like the understanding these ideas and trying to set up times to reflect on it. So I just this is what I'd like to ask you is it's like we have like institution of brachos, brachos
Right.
hashachar in the morning, asher
Amazing.
yatzar.
Amazing way to start. Amazing.
It is, and it's like set up, but it's so hard for a person just to reflect on that, like even just to reflect on a bracha when you make it. Do you think that when you experience grief and sadness, that makes you more sensitive to the other things in life that are good that you just take for granted? And it's when you miss things and you lose things, that's what enables you to, or do you think it's much more just thinking about these ideas that will cause you to reflect on them more frequently?
I don't think I really formulated in my mind, didn't formulate your question.
Okay. Let me try. Should I
I was
try one
gonna,
more time or?
Just trying to make sure.
personally, I've been actually working very much now with the brachos and actually thinking of doing some writing with the brachos because it's like, to me, it's an amazing thing. Like, just look at this one, the bracha, Hamechin Mitzadei Gaver, that Hashem sets us on the path of which we're supposed to go. I thought I was supposed to be going to Israel now. Obviously, I wasn't. And that's fine because I realized that was not his plan. His plan and your plan need to be aligned, but he wins. So it doesn't really make a difference what your ratzon is. It has to be his ratzon. But I think even like physically, when you get up and you think of so kaf kafufim, look at this. I can stand up, I can walk, I can move. Shasoli Kol Tzarki, that he gives me everything that I want. I think about Pokeach Ivrim. I had what's it called, a cataract surgery, and it made me realize that there are cataracts in your soul. Forget about the cataracts in your eyes, that you don't see life clearly because the cataract is covering it. And it's like I'm trying to look in each bracha and see so many relevant things that make our life better. So all of this creates an attitude of gratitude.
Thank you, Mrs.
Does that
Moskowitz.
help?
We really appreciated it.
Sure.
We have gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anytime, call anytime. Anybody else have anything would like to ask me? Don't all rush at once. Okay, well, I'm available anytime anybody ever wants to call me or write me or text me or email me. It would be my pleasure.
Mrs. Moskowitz,
Okay. Yes. Where am I
do you
coming
think
from?
that there's a
Isaac.
way for?
Okay. Hi, where are you? I don't see
Oh,
you.
sorry,
I
I
don't
don't have
have
my
to see
camera
where
on.
I don't have to
No.
see where you are, but louder. It needs to be louder.
Sorry, I don't have my camera on. Do you think there's a way for people to, I'd say, learn these lessons without, I'd say before they actually go through loss? Like, do you think there's
You
a way
mean
for a person to? Do you
can
think a
you
person
learn
can
those
like?
lessons without going through loss? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
That's great. I wish nobody had to go through loss. I think
I'm asking
loss
like
is a
what kind of
very
person, though?
interesting thing because it's like there are so many kinds of loss. There are very simple losses that, I mean, people lose all kinds of things in their life. And unfortunately, then there are more serious losses. But if you can develop an attitude of gratitude in your life now, when you don't have any losses, it's going to be there for you to give you the strength that everything that's going to come to you, you'll be able to handle. It's going to make the whole journey more possible. Does that
That makes
answer
sense.
you?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Anybody else?
All right.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure having all of you with us this evening. Please
Moskowitz, can I
know
ask a
that,
question? I'm sorry. I
sure.
late breaking question.
Okay.
So I was thinking about in terms of reaching out to people who have had losses, even like in recent years. So sometimes I feel a little hesitant or worried that if I do so, it'll like raise, like if I say, "Oh, just thinking about you and the loss that you had a few years ago," I always worry a little bit that maybe it will bring up feelings of maybe they weren't thinking about it quite as much, that day or whatever the case may be.
So
And
then you
maybe
don't have to.
that'll
So you're saying that you want to reach out to people, but you don't want to make it harder for them by reminding them of the loss?
Yeah, exactly. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts around a good way to go about it to sort of avoid that, or if you think that is something to worry about, or
I think sometimes just letting them know you're thinking about them. Sometimes it's a very simple thing of just could be, and what I love about emails and texts, it's like sort of not so obtrusive, like you're calling somebody on the phone, but you can just, oh, you know what? I was just thinking about you, how you doing, what's new, and you don't even have to go there to the area of the situation, but you can just, make it clear that you are thinking about the person and wanting them to know that you care. I think caring about a person is the most important thing that you can do and letting them know you care. What's not helpful is what can I do? Do it. Don't go through the what can I do? If you want to do something for somebody, do it. Bring them over, call them up. I'm downstairs. I have a sandwich for you. I got some pizza. Can I bring it up? Or I just read a book. Would you like to take a look at it? But not this open-ended, how can I help you? What can I do? It means well, but the person's not going to respond to it.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Does
makes sense.
that
Thank you so much.
does that help you?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But Mrs. Moskowitz?
Hi.
Hi, it's Razy. I
I
was
see
also
that.
thinking, okay, I was also thinking that a person doesn't have to feel that they're in a loss only when they lose a person. A person can lose a
Oh,
friend,
yeah.
just a job,
Pet.
a
A job,
relationship,
a
a
pet.
pet, right?
Yeah, of course.
Any disappointment that a person has they can go through the same emotions of loss as losing,
100%.
right. So I just wanted to
That's,
point that out. It doesn't have
oh
to
no,
be a
that's,
human. That's
no, 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 that's what I meant when I said there are all kinds of losses. And maybe sometimes the Kadosh Baruch Hu gives us practice, like we have a small loss of a little less consequential thing, so that if we ever have to have a larger loss, we have a little bit more strength and resilience to be able to handle it. But no, I mean there are loss comes in so many forms. But what you said about friends, relationships, could be pets, all of these just disappointments in life in general, you know, are losses. Thank you, Racy. Anybody else? Nope. Okay, well, thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience.
Thank you, Mrs.
Please know that
Moskowitz.
you're very
Thank
welcome to
you.
have you contact me anytime that you like. Also, this is going to be on YouTube, I do believe. And what's good about that is because a couple of years ago, I spoke at someone's house and became a YouTube tape. And then people sent it to each other. And what I loved about that is it was not confrontational. It was like, oh, you know what? If you want to see this, you might like to see it. And it wasn't like I'm calling you up and saying, oh, do you want to talk to me? That kind of thing. So hopefully this will be available. And you can certainly feel free to share it with anyone that you think might benefit from it. So thank you also very much. Shavua Tov, happy pre-Hanukkah, and look forward to seeing you all in happy occasions. Good night.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. You
Thank
too.
you.
Be
Thank
well.
you.
Be well,
Okay.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. I'd like to see if I'm give it on there. Leave the meeting, right? Oh, yeah, you close it for everybody, right?